welcome back in the podcast. So, spoiler alert, we are doing the market report for the Reno Sparks area for December 2023. But what Brian and I are seeing is buyers are struggling to get into contract. A lot of people think that it's a buyer's market, and it is not. So, you're going to want to stay around till the end. We're going to go over the top 5 things that buyers need to do to win in 2024. Because we don't want our clients coming to us in 2025 and asking why they didn't get into a house in 2024. So, welcome back into the podcast. My name is Ken Angst, team leader of the Angst Real Estate team. We have Brian Cushing in today. Brian,
Ken, great to see you.
How are you? Great contributor. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
What's any New Year's resolutions? What's going on?
I started a carnivore diet for the 75-day challenge.
What's the 75-day challenge?
It's called 75 Hard. So I'm doing 75 days of 2 workouts a day and sticking to my carnivore diet, which is just the one I chose because I like meat.
All right, so you get to choose your diet and then 75 no cheat days.
No cheat days, yeah, no cheat days, no alcohol.
That's good.
A gallon of water. That's probably the hardest thing to do is drink a gallon of water.
And what's the workout?
Well, one has to be outside, so I usually take the dog for a long walk and do my 100
Get out and
push-ups.
enjoy this weather because it's been pretty mild. So,
Yeah.
all right. So today we're going to talk about the market report, and then we're going to discuss. If you're a buyer out there, you know my clients who I'm talking to. It's time to get prepared. Give you top 5 things to win in 2024. Please like our channel, give us a thumbs up, share with someone out there that could use this information. So, all right, Brian, we're going to talk about the market report. Keep in mind that this is December. So we're 16 days into January, but we're talking about December. Reno Sparks, resale homes only. We're not talking about condos. So the median home price, I'll kick it off. And this is a surprising number. A lot of people caught off guard by this. The median sales price, half or above, half or below, $565.
Wow.
And people thought it was going to be a slow market in 2023 because of higher interest rates. Wrong. The median home price is up almost 9.5% year over year.
Yeah, it's up. That's a ton. Well,
Yeah.
it's up with low inventory, so
Yeah.
it just kind of goes to show that the higher priced homes are still able to sell. Not a lot of lower price inventory. I think that's probably the key there.
Yep, and we'll talk about that, and that's why we're talking about buyers. So, what about closed sales?
273 closed sales in December. That is 18.5% less than December of last year, and a drop of 15.5% from November. So definitely less inventory, less sales.
Yeah, so not a lot of sales happening. A lot of angst in the real estate markets for realtors. A lot of realtors out there. No pun intended, but it's a tough time out there with the low inventory in the winter. So that's a pretty low number.
That's super low. I mean, it's just historically low, I think.
Yeah, so that's entire Reno Sparks. Only 273 sales. So that's shocking. Another interesting thing is median days of contract. So what we're experiencing is a lot of houses that are overpriced are staying on the market. But I can here to tell you that we have a lot of buyers looking. If you price a home and it's a very desirable area, they're flying off the market.
Yeah.
Over the weekend again. But
That's the key. Desirable area, priced well.
yeah, so we still have there's kind of a split out there between people who are pricing their home correctly and still thinking that they're living in a market where there's low interest rates. So yeah, that's down 12.5% year over year and up 40% month over month. So houses are sitting a little bit longer on the market. We're not doing list price received. What about median price? It kind of hovers around this.
Yeah, it's just over $303 a square foot. It's a good number to just use. Take a square footage of a house, multiply it by 300. It gives you a starting point as far as an estimated price. Obviously, the neighborhood and the details are going to dictate.
And that hasn't changed much. It's
No,
always
it's
been
been,
300 to 310.
0.3% difference since
Yep.
last month. Up 6.3% since December of last year. December 2022 was a little bit of a lower year. That was definitely where we saw the initial reaction to higher interest rates. Inventories dropped. Everything just kind of screeched to a halt, even though surprisingly it's screeched to an even further halt this December with only 273 sales.
Yeah, so here's a shocking stat for you. New listings. So all in Reno Sparks. Just keep in mind that we sold 273, but only 202 came on the market.
That's not helping anything, Ken.
That's not helping anything. And why is that, Brian? Why is there only 200 people thinking about selling in this market?
I think there's more than 200 people thinking about selling, but the
But
action of listing the house is what we're really looking for. I mean, it's the holidays, so I mean,
Yep.
we can use the Thanksgiving and Christmas holiday as just time to shut down, put the Christmas lights up.
You may say that, but it's down 20%
I
year over
know,
year.
I say
20% down from last year.
Yeah,
So
and 27% down the month before. So yeah, it's like falling off a cliff.
So-
I guess since it is January, is there any hope for this next monthly report?
I still think the market's tight, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I mean, it comes down to interest rates around 7.
Yeah, that's true.
So 90% of Washoe County who have a mortgage, people in Washoe County, their rate's under 4%.
Oh yeah.
So Brian feels it, we feel it. People aren't selling unless they have a real need to sell. So
Yeah.
that's what kind of comes down to. And then talk about active inventory.
Yes, 605 homes active. So the homes that are overpriced are sitting on the market 47 days on the median contract, to contract, and that's where there's at least some active inventory. Gosh, I think more than 1,000 is still low, and 600 there's just not much for sale. So if you're not too picky, you can find something. You just have to wait out either somebody's overzealous price point, or wait for more inventory. Which let's hope that spring will come early. I don't know about that groundhog, but we'll see.
Yeah, and then months of inventory. So you take your inventory minus the sales and divide by sold houses, divide by new listings, and we're less than 2 months. Yeah, so it's off a cliff. So it's
Well, that's down 16%. So 2.2 months of inventory is down 16% from December 2022.
So and just to remind everyone, we talked about this, but we haven't talked about it in a few podcasts. A balanced market is 5 to 7 months. So we have a lot of buyers out there that feel that it's a buyer's market. I'm here to tell you it is not. So
you can have your pick of the 605 homes that are for sale, I guess.
all right. So with that being said, we had a lot of interesting things happen. I'm not going to say any names, but we had several clients over the weekend go look at a house over $1 million. Within like 4 to 6 hours, there's multiple offers. Cash, house is gone. House is pending before you can even take a look. So
Let me guess. Great house, great neighborhood.
yes. So, but what we want to do in this little segment is give buyers hope. And the number one thing is you got to be prepared. If you're just kind of out there throwing offers, thinking that you're going to lowball somebody, that's what people are doing, and that's not a good strategy. So, got to get organized. I have the keys. So today we're talking about the top 5 things buyers need to do to win in 2024.
All right.
It's a different market. So first thing is, talk about this a lot, be clear with what your intentions are. So what are you doing? Why are you buying a property? Are you buying a first home? Are you downsizing? Are you buying a rental property? And a lot of people are, we're not buying rental properties because it's not a good deal. And that's, we have people buying and selling rental properties right now. So there are some good deals. You got to sniff around and find it, but that's a lot more hard work. Or is this your dream home? So are you down there thinking about sitting on a mortgage? So you got to know what you're doing. And then, so that's step 1, is be very clear on what your intentions are. Because a lot of people are just like, I'm thinking about moving, but don't take it for serious.
So window shopping is not really going to get it done. You're just looking for the perfect house with nothing in mind. That's what you're saying, is have a much more detailed focus on.
Yeah, first you got to know why you're going to get in this market.
All right.
Because it's not for the faint-hearted.
That's true.
There's 600 homes available. So if you're just kind of window shopping and then going to think about it for a weekend, as I saw last weekend, 2 houses off the market within, less than 24 hours. Wow. So, and over $1 million. And then it's very competitive, multiple offers. So be clear in your intentions. What are you going to do? Why are you doing this? Is now the right time based on your situation? So that's the first thing. Second thing is you got to hire the right professionals.
That's important.
There's a lot of options out there. I'm not going to lie to you. There's 3,000 to 4,000 agents. If you're using your brother or sister or a professional that sells 1 or 2 sales a year, that doesn't have the professional network in place like we do with Brian and all the people we bring on this channel, that doesn't do podcasts, that's not involved in the community, it's a tough thing, especially since a lot of these sales are very specialized. If you're downsizing, if you're dream home, if you're trying to sell a house, do a contingent sale. There's a lot of things that go into each one of these, and you better have a realtor that specializes or has knowledge on how to do those kind of sales. Anything to add on that?
Well, it helps to know the people involved too. I mean, I know that it's just as much as about your agent's relationship with you as it is with your agent's relationship with the potential listing agent, because there's a lot of conversations that happen before an offer gets submitted to massage that and pre-negotiate, or at least open up the conversation around what's going to get it done. So
Yeah,
that's where
that's a great point. And that leads us in number 3 is you better be very clear on how you're financing the property.
There you go.
So we have a lot of people, I'm not going to pick on anybody, but it's like a half dozen to a dozen clients that are kind of feeling the market, which is great. There is some, in our opinion, there is some window shopping that you should do, but when you get serious about it and you want to get down to it, and if you really want to make the move, you better have your financing in order. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if you've picked out your neighborhood and you've got clarity around what you're looking for, when you see it, you should be able to bounce on it. And the only way to do that is to have your ducks in a row.
Right. So you got to know if you're going to pay cash. And Brian just brought up a good point. Is we see in this market, it's very competitive, multiple offers. So if you put Brian's name on a pre-approval letter, most people know who he is, and that gives people, sellers and agents, confidence that this person can close. Because the number one goal of, speaking from a listing agent, is I want to make sure that my client's house closes. I don't want any hiccups. I don't want any pretenders. So when I see someone like Brian that comes in with a pre-approval letter from a buyer, then we know it's legit and we can close, because he's already investigated the buyer and we know that we can go forward. So the other thing you need to know is, are you doing a contingent sale? Are you downsizing? So, because sometimes we're dealing with a lot of clients right now that need to downsize. So if you're in that situation, you got to know that you got to have your house ready, probably in contract, before any seller is going to even consider your offer. Because you can't go, oh, I want to downsize, I'm going to put an offer in, I'll close, and then I'll have my house on the market in the next 3 months. That's not going to work in this market, because they're not going to accept it.
Yeah, and if you plan far enough ahead, I mean, you could look at a bridge loan as an option to sell your house later if you want some transition time. If you're able to buy and manage both payments at the same time, there are options. But if you need to sell, or if you want to if you don't want a high interest rate on a high balance on your loan, by selling your home, you'll have a lot more equity, so a lot lower payment when it's said and done. But that does, create the challenge of will the house that you really are in love with, that potentially has other offers to look at, are you able to make it sweet enough to make the seller pick you?
Yeah, you got to get in, talk to the financial folks like Brian, know all your options. Recasting, there's all kinds of different options out there. You got to know them, and you got to put yourself in a spot that's going to get your offer accepted, because like 25-30% of all sales in our market are still today cash. So we see financing beat out cash, but you better have your ducks in a row, and you better not be sloppy, because otherwise sellers are looking for a reason to kick you out.
I've even heard some people have taken backup offers because the initial offer fell through.
So that is leading right into, see, he didn't even see this, but that's leading right into number 4. So do your homework. We spend a lot of time on this channel educating about the market. We have discussions with assessors. We have discussions with lenders. We have discussions with title people to understand the process. So make sure you do a little homework and understand the process. And what I mean by that is be able to do your own homework on a piece of property. I have some clients in California, you know who they are. These people know how to research. They watch all my videos. When I show up to a property, they know this place had a fireplace. This has oil. This has, oh, I looked at the septic. I already pulled it from the health department. They are into it, and that's very appreciated as an agent. I mean, obviously I get involved with all that, but these people look into the property, look at the assessor. I'll put a video above on how to use the Washington County Assessor's website. It's one of the best in the country.
It's important.
Make sure the square footage is right. Make sure it's permitted. Make sure it has the schools. We have videos shorts on all how to do, is in the floodplain. Do some homework. I'm not suggesting that you do all this homework on every property you look at, but if it's a property that you really are interested in, spend half an hour, look into it, make sure you know what you're looking into.
Absolutely.
Because it goes a long ways on eliminating properties and goes a long ways on knowing all the issues so that you can appropriately make the correct offer. Let's talk about, I'm going to do 4B.
4B.
We did 4A, this is 4B.
Okay.
What we're seeing in this market is, based on my feel, 25 to 30% of all houses are coming back on the market. Why is that? A lot of people are asking, why is this house come back on the market? Well, at 7%, if you're getting a mortgage, you're putting 90% down or 10% down, and your mortgage is 9%. At 7%, people are feeling the pinch. It's an expensive house. Karumai says, and that payment hurts. 3 or 4 years ago when interest rates were at 2, people didn't care because it was so cheap money. They could almost fix anything. Now, if anything comes up on the title, if anything comes up in the home inspection, people are bailing because they're looking for that perfect house. So what we're seeing as a winning strategy here in 2024, have one just accepted, do backup offers. There's no real risk to either party. All you're basically doing is agreeing if it falls out of contract, the seller agent will call, if I'm the buyer's agent, and say, hey, you actually submit a real offer and get it accepted. Are you still interested? Yes, let's sign it, and all the days start from when you sign it. You can get out of it anytime you want. If you're looking around, you find another property, you can cancel that.
Yeah, so you're not obligated unless it comes up as you just get the second option.
You get the second option. And you can cancel anytime. And the beautiful thing is, speaking from a listing agent, sellers don't want to go back on the market because it just gives the impression that there's something wrong with the property.
That's what people ask. Why did it come back on the market?
Yeah, and if you're in a backup situation, what the listing agent can do is go right back in the contract. It never goes back on the market and sells. So it's a beautiful thing for buyers and sellers. Think about it, just because it's a unique way. It's a winning strategy right now to get in a house in a tough buyer's market. Absolutely. Any comments on that? Do you see that?
Yeah, it takes patience, and if there's only 600 homes on the market and the one that you really liked, you missed by a few hours or a few days because it sold, if you're serious about it, submit a real offer and be prepared. Yeah, there's no, I don't see any negative to it, because if something new comes on the market, you just say, forget that one, I'll make an offer.
You have to give written notice to cancel it, but
yeah, stay on top of it. That's why you have a realtor.
Yeah, that's why you stay on top of it. But it's a winning strategy. We see a lot of people getting them accepted. So consider that strategy. That's a pro tip. 4B. 4B. Okay. All right, the last one. This is the biggest mistake I see buyers make.
Okay.
Our clients don't make this mistake, but we have a few that are out there that have not done this. So I'm urging you to do this. If you're one of my clients and haven't done this, sit down with your realtor and go through the real estate contract. What invariably happens is you have a couple that is kind of new, or some people that haven't sold or bought in a while. The contract's new. There's a lot of new language in our contract as of the 15th locally. They've changed some things. Still, people think that there's repair money. There's not any repair money anymore. So you got to know what's in the real estate contract. What are you signing? Because ultimately, yes, your realtor is helping you, but ultimately, you're responsible, and if you have like $10,000 of earnest money, you better well know what you need to do in a contract to stay above board so you don't lose that earnest money.
So maybe read the contract before you ever submit an offer.
Yes.
Okay.
Go have a cup of coffee, go to lunch, have your realtor bring up the contract, go over it. Line by line, it's 10 pages, it's not easy reading. I can tell you it takes about 90 minutes if you really want to understand it. And understand what you're signing, because what invariably happens is we have clients who like a house, and guess what? There's offers in, and and the agent calls and said, "Hey, at 5 o'clock today, we're reviewing offers." And you're at 2 at a house you love, and you haven't reviewed the offer or you haven't reviewed the contract with your realtor. What do you think happens?
You sign it without thinking.
You sign something without understanding the ramifications of dates. Knowing what is in the contract, and typically you won't get it done because people freak out and then they'll start asking a lot of questions. So you're at 2, now it's 6, off, the house is gone. Or you're just signing a contract. Don't ever sign a contract that you don't understand. Know all the forms. It doesn't take that long. Be knowledgeable about the process because ultimately it's the biggest purchase of your life.
Yeah, well, ask
And
questions.
understand.
Right?
Ask questions. Don't just be, especially in this day and age of DocuSign, people just don't even look. They just sign, and then once there's a problem in the contract, they're like, well, I didn't understand that. So those are the top strategies, is that if you're serious about buying and don't want to be in 2025 working with us, but if you're dead serious, you need to follow these. We're always available. We go to lunch regularly with a lot of clients. If you want to know more about the process, get in and see us. Right now is a great time. It's early in the year. I expect, it's very cyclical here. It goes up. So once it's going to be tight here for January, February, I'm guessing March, hopefully rates will come down a little bit. Maybe. We don't know.
We'll see.
But there's going to be more and more inventory because people downsize. There's going to be reasons for people to move. And now's the time to get all this ducks in a row. If you're buying or selling, doing contingent sales, if you're looking at houses, because you don't want to be in April, not done these, house comes in the market, and you haven't done any of this stuff where there's a lot of time right now to do it because it's a slower market. Get in, learn about the process, and be ready.
And if you need a loan, plan ahead, be premeditated with that. Doesn't mean you have to run a full credit report, but you need to have an application reviewed, and there's what's called a soft credit check, which is just a really simple way to make sure your credit liabilities are reviewed. If there's any tips or any suggestions on ways to improve your credit by 10, 20 points to get you over the next threshold to a lower interest rate, think about that now.
Yeah, work on it now. Especially if you're downsizing. We specialize in downsizing. If you're not doing that now, especially with the weather being a little bit more moderate than in the previous years, you can get a lot of stuff done and have it ready to go during the sweet time, and it just helps you because once you start looking at April, May, all the vendors are busy. They're going to charge you more. People have time right now. Get in, get it done, and be prepared. This is not a seller, or this is not a buyer's market by any stretch. You got to be prepared. If it's the right house, it's priced right, it's going to go quickly, and you got to put yourself in the best spot.
I love it.
Happy New Year.
Yep.
Give Brian a call if you need a mortgage. He's one of the best in the business. His great rates, very competitive, and just be ready. So continue to like our videos.
Yeah.
They're big hits. We're cruising past. We're almost at 300 followers. I know that's not a lot, but we're working on it. But we have thousands of views on all of our videos. Feel free to look through our video library. We have lots of different shorts and stuff on different topics.
I've used the assessor's video a couple times, I will say, for clients. People from out of the area just don't understand the property taxes. It's the best way to understand how Nevada runs property taxes, especially in Washoe County.
Yeah, because it's not intuitive. So
well, it's from the horse's mouth too.
Yeah, it's right from the assessor.
The guy that was hired to do it.
So, okay, you guys take care. Stay tuned for our other videos, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.